Meghan Markle gonna be back on our screens potentially. Charlie, what can we expect from her return? Because people are saying she's back acting.
Okay, she's not acting. I just have to make that abundantly clear. Yes, she is reportedly returning to screens. She will be featuring, we believe, in a new Amazon project that stars Lily Collins and Brie Larson. However, she's playing herself. So I don't really think that we can call it acting. Last time I checked, no one won the Best Actress Oscar for their own portrayal of themselves.
Well, she has to act like herself.
I mean, you just said a mouthful, because I could go down a rabbit hole with regards to Meghan acting like herself. However, she was reportedly seen on the set of this Amazon project. Sources who were very secretive about the whole thing, they obviously don't want to lose their jobs.
Yes.
But sources said that she was incredibly sweet to everyone, that she introduced herself to everyone on set, and that she seemed very relaxed and happy in front of the cameras. Keeping in mind, this is the first time she's really been on the set of a kind of feature film, TV show. Exactly. Since she was on Suits. Now, obviously, she's filmed a couple of Netflix projects since then. I'm sure everyone watched With Love, Meghan.
Season 1 and 2.
But I guess there is something a little bit different between acting as yourself and acting as yourself. So it remains to be seen exactly what will come of her on-set appearance. But I'm sure for people who were big fans of Suits, it will be a thrill to once again see her return to a fictional on-screen project.
Right. She's back on a real set. It's not just a staged house this time. It's a real production. But I do feel like, I mean, for me, it feels like she's kind of stepping her way further and further back into the acting realm. Like, she had her With Love Meghan show, which was a production, but now she's acting as herself. Do you think we're going to see her try to make a return to scripted where she is portraying a different character?
I think it's such a difficult question to answer, primarily because so much has changed for Meghan since she was in Suits. And I mean that beyond she married a royal and, you know,
she's
upended the entire British royal family. I think when Meghan was in Suits, she was a very, not going to use the word desperate, determined. She was very determined.
Younger and new to it, sort of.
She was. She, you know, and she did what a lot of up and coming actresses do. She appeared on Deal or No Deal. She appeared in some truly heinous independent film projects. And when she finally got her big role on Suits, she really made a go of it. You know, she appeared on every red carpet. She went to every event. She took advantage of every opportunity in an attempt to really put herself out there.
Going.
Exactly. And I think so much has kind of flip reversed since then. When she was a member of the royal family, she experienced almost overnight that kind of fame that she had been lusting after for so long.
Almost too much.
Right. But she wasn't allowed to enjoy the kind of perks of it. She wasn't allowed to accept any freebies. She wasn't allowed to go to big red carpet events. It's not like she could present an Oscar at the Academy Awards.
Right.
So for
That'll
Meghan,
be next, I think.
Well, so for Meghan, it was like a catch-22. She kind of all of a sudden had almost everything that she'd been dreaming of, but she wasn't actually allowed to enjoy any of that dream.
Yeah.
Now she's in a position where I think she's still one of the most famous women on the planet, but I truly believe she thinks that kind of scripted projects are a bit beneath her.
Oh, okay.
I get the sense that she doesn't necessarily want to be an actress. Like, I don't think that acting was her be all and end all. I think for her, it was a stepping stone to something greater. Something greater being directing, producing, all of that kind of stuff, which she's obviously been given the opportunity to do through her Netflix deal. But it remains to be seen whether she and Harry are actually going to be able to create a hit, because thus far, other than the Netflix documentary that they did in which they basically laid bare every torturous moment that they had during their time in the royal family,
right,
none of their projects have really taken off.
They really haven't. I mean, even With Love, Meghan didn't seem to get as much attention in the second season that the first season did. Once people maybe like caught on. I mean, she does have that holiday special coming out with it.
God.
But, you know, it's not really taking off either.
No. And I think the thing is, not everyone is cut out to be a movie producer or to be a director. Like, I hold my hands up. I can gab all the long day about anything and everything. But if you were to say to me, like, hey, come up with a really good idea for a movie, cast it, direct it, I'd be at a loss. And I think you can't just expect every famous person to be good at whatever role they're given.
Yeah.
And maybe if Meghan is able to gain a bit more experience by making cameos on projects like this, seeing people put into action different projects and really soak up more of the behind the scenes element of these kinds of, you know, on-screen dramas and thrillers and whatever it is, maybe that will be the key to her kind of finding her own lane in the industry behind the cameras instead of in front of him.
Well, they have the rights to Meet Me at the Lake. And that was such a popular book, but they announced that they have the rights to it, and we haven't heard anything about casting, when it's coming out, where it is. And everybody seems like they've been on the edge of their seat. Like, okay, I read the book. I'm ready for it myself, but no news from it.
And these things take time, right? Like, they do. It's a really difficult thing in Hollywood because anytime a book gets picked up, right, you know, you expect the movie to be released tomorrow. But, you know, I actually interviewed an author recently whose book was kind of optioned by Hulu. I was chatting to her about it and she said, well, listen, like, they have the option. That doesn't mean that it's going to end up on screen. It just means that they're the ones who have the opportunity to put it on screen if they want to. And so often these kinds of projects fall through. But I think that if Meghan and Harry are going to really make something of themselves in the Hollywood industry, if they are going to make an impact, they have to stop with all of the personal stuff. I know that's what people want. I know that's
it's like a double-edged sword because that's what's working for them. Mm-hmm. But then also,
look, take a leaf out of Victoria Beckham's book. I regularly hold her up as the queen of reinvention.
Oh, okay.
After the Spice Girls, she produced like a line of True Religion jeans. There was a lot of bedazzling.
Love.
And then she disappeared. She had children. She made a wonderful home. She supported David as he moved around the world with his various different soccer teams. And then, after years away from the spotlight, she came back and rebranded herself as a high-end fashion designer. If at the end of the Spice Girls, you had told me that Posh Spice was going to be designing couture, I would have laughed in your face. Now, not only does she have an incredible fashion line, she has some of the best beauty products out there on the market.
She does.
And it's because she understood that in order to make it as a respected fashion designer, she needed to let go of Posh Spice.
No.
Look,
I want the Spice Girls to do a reunion.
She's now at a place in her career where it doesn't matter. She can be Victoria Beckham and she can be Posh Spice. Right now, Meghan and Harry are still Meghan and Harry. If they want to be something beyond the Sussexes and the royals who Mexited, then they need to create some kind of distance between the two things. They have to stop having a go at the royal family. They have to stop releasing tell-all memoirs, doing interviews with Oprah, whatever it is. And they need to basically rebrand themselves as whatever it is that they're trying to be, whether that's Hollywood producers, documentarians, charity founders, like lifestyle brand gurus, jam makers, they have so many options at their feet.
And they're trying them all.
But you can't have your cake and eat it too. I'm sorry.
And to your point, we have a Page Six source that was saying that Hollywood is kind of getting a little tired of them.
Yeah, I mean, I think the atmosphere right now in the industry is like, okay, your internship is over. You've kind of had the time you needed to settle in. It's been 5 years since you Mexited. It's been 5 years since you signed your Netflix deal. It's time to kind of produce or get off the film set.
Right.
I think is the truth. And there have been some reports, as you said, sources kind of spoke to Page Six and alleged that there have been some, I guess, kind of difficulties with their behavior. One person claimed that Harry has shown up late to some very important meetings, and that after he did so, he then requested that high-powered TV executives provide him with hot chocolate.
His drink of choice.
His drink of choice. You know, I get it. It's cozy. I myself just had my first peppermint mocha of the season. I get it. But there's a time and a place. You know, I'm not going to walk into a meeting with the CEO of a company and be like, hey, got any hot choc? Any little marshmallows you can pop on top? And so I think the kind of feeling in Hollywood is like, look, what are you doing?
Yeah, where is this going?
You know, you have a very privileged life. You have been given every opportunity. Like, there are a few other people who can walk away from a job, you know, if we're talking about their roles in the royal family as a job. They walked away from a job and someone was like, here's $100,000 or here's
a major platform.
$100 million. Like, just make some stuff for us. That is the thing that most young budding directors and producers would give their left arm for. And I think a lot of people in Hollywood are saying, like, you were not only given a leg up, you were given an entire ladder. What are you going to do with it?
Where are we going?
Right, exactly. So it's understandable to me that people in the industry are perhaps feeling a little bit resentful and frustrated with what Meghan and Harry have done thus far.
Do you feel like Harry is starting to feel the heat a little bit? Because we did have a story about how Meghan's Dodgers video kind of rubbed people the wrong way, but other people were supportive of it. It got mixed reviews. She was cheering for the Dodgers, celebrating in their what looked like a movie theater in their home.
Yeah,
and then ran over to Harry
in their home,
right,
you know?
right, to casually watch the World Series for is it your favorite baseball team? And then Harry's like, yay.
I mean, Harry's reaction made me want to die inside.
Me too.
And like, okay, so the one thing I would say about the video not being staged is like, stage it well if you're going to stage it. Like,
right.
If I was to ever pull some kind of baloney like that for my own Instagram, you best believe I'd be there staging my boyfriend being like, right. When I say go, you're going to jump up and be like, Dodgers, Dodgers, Dodgers. You're not going to sit there looking at me like I'm a raving lunatic, which is what Harry did. I can reenact it. He was like,
He really was.
He was slumped back in his chair. He looked like he wanted the chair to swallow him whole. Meanwhile, Meghan and her friend are losing their naughty word, running around in circles, screaming and cheering. And so I understand why people felt that it might have been staged. And look, what influencer video is not?
I was going to say, aren't they all staged? But it did feel extra.
It felt
I felt the same way when I saw Harry. I was like, oh,
yeah.
Like my body is tensing up watching it and I'm not even in it. But
like if I was Meghan, I would have done some artful cropping to just remove him and just pretended it was me and my friend. You know, like he doesn't need to be in every post.
Maybe watch it back and just be like, you weren't really giving. I'm going to just not have you in it.
Exactly. Or you weren't really giving. Get your booty back to the private movie theater so we can redo this. You know? Because at the end of the day,
that YouTube TV and let's get them back.
If it was staged, it can be staged again.
That's
true.
That's
but
fair.
Yeah, again, it comes back to this whole thing of like, what does Meghan want to be? She was an influencer once upon a time. She had the TIG, her lifestyle website.
Right,
she
which
now
did
has,
do well.
It did really well. But, you know, back then, influencing was posting those really embarrassing Instagram filtered images of like, oh, here's a bottle of wine, like bit blurry, bit grainy, aren't I cool? These days, influencing is basically producing a mini movie every single day. These people on TikTok are incredibly talented with their editing skills,
they really
their
are.
Consistency, their variety of content. And do I think that people are going to unfollow Meghan because of a staged video? No. But either she is a mother and a wife and a business founder sharing glimpses inside her life, candid glimpses inside her life, or she's an influencer who's setting up a tripod in the corner of her private movie theater to, you know, film a frankly quite staged reaction.
I know.
And I just think, you kind of have to make up your mind. And then, you know, additional sources are saying that Harry is also growing frustrated with the amount of content being shared of him and their children.
Right, because they kind of wanted to take a step back, at least from what we understood, to move away from that. And then it's like, oh, wait, now we're seeing a lot of what your life is like.
And, you know, we've talked about it before. It's a very difficult balance to strike. Meghan only returned to Instagram January 1st this year. And since then, it seems to me that she has become more and more and more comfortable with sharing those like sneak peeks inside her life, whether they're going to Disney World, whether they're going to a pumpkin patch, whether she's making cocktails with her mum, whatever it is. But you have to understand why people might be quick to shout hypocrite if you are on stage at an event accepting a Humanitarian of the Year award, telling everyone how dangerous social media is and how we all need to keep our children away from it. And then the very next day, you're posting a video montage of you and your husband rocking around New York. And then the next day, you're at a pumpkin patch with your children who's, you know, who can be seen pretty much in full view in this clip. So I understand why people would be a bit confused about the mixed messaging. I'm confused about the mixed messaging.
Absolutely. And I can understand, if true, that he's frustrated with it, why he would be frustrated with it.
Absolutely.
But she does at the same time need the platform because she's still trying to grow as ever. She was just put on her bestie Oprah, her neighbor Oprah's favorite things list for the holiday.
I mean, honestly, the way Oprah creates a web of people who must just suck up to her like nobody's business. Don't get me wrong. If I had a product that I was trying to sell, Oprah would be the first person I would call if she was in my phone book.
Me too. I would be like, holiday gift guide.
Right.
Here is my product.
And I think Oprah also gave Meghan a shout out for recommending another product. She had like a lineup of Tatcha skincare, I think it was.
Yeah.
And she said, you know, ooh, I got this from my neighbor, Meghan.
Loves it.
You know, it smells like a forest. Because who doesn't want to smell like a forest? I would love to be
Always.
honest. And also, who doesn't want to smell like Oprah? Really?
I mean, you know, I love bread. Oprah loves bread.
Yeah.
We could have some of Meghan's jam while we smell like forests on said bread.
I love money. Oprah has money. I feel like there's a symbiosis.
We're the same.
Yeah, exactly. But yes, to your point, Meghan does still have this fledgling business that she is trying to get off the ground. And I know her products sell out every time they are put out there. But we have to keep in mind limited quantities are being made. This is not Whole Foods. Do you know what I mean? She's not dispatching.
These are more small batch.
Tens upon tens of thousands of jars of spread, as we call it. You know, she's not got enormous warehouses that are just filled with workers kind of filling boxes.
Right. This isn't Amazon.
Right, exactly. She has the backing of Netflix, yes, but Netflix has learned from its mistakes. They put $100 million into Harry and Meghan and they kind of got a bum deal. So I think this time around, they're going to be a little bit more cautious and take the view that it's better to build small than go over the top. Let's prove the value of the product before we invest too much money in it.
Absolutely.
So having a little, you know, promotion from Oprah goes a very long way.
Sure does. Mm-hmm. And we'll see how it continues to grow as
shall.
the holiday season comes.
Oh my goodness.
And then her special, we're just going to have the Sussexes. They're like, we still need to take a step back, but we will see them all throughout the holiday season, surely.
I mean, dare I suggest that Oprah may make a cameo in the holiday special of With Love Meghan? Because that would be a coup for the ages. That would be a real get for Meghan.
And they film at her house.
Exactly. House, yeah.
So Oprah could just come next door. Exactly. All right, we'll be on the lookout for that for sure.
Montecito is basically a cul-de-sac of celebrities, so it wouldn't take Oprah long to get there at all.
No, she's right on the street.
Yeah.
Okay, Charlie, as always, thank you so much for your insight.
As always or as ever.
Oh, dang it. I wish I would have thought of that myself. That was a good one. We're ending on that note.